This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com. Well, everybody, today we're going to be taking a look at probably one of the smartest guys I've ever met and one of the kindest people I've ever met. We're going to be taking a look at a game that is so out there. Here's the thing, and I'm going to spell it out for you. Jim Feld is probably one of the smartest designers. I mean, I'm talking about this man is a scientist. You think I'm kidding? I'm not. Brilliant, kind, smart, and has a love for games like no other. I've had the pleasure of meeting the man at Gen Con and spending some time with him up at the BGG game room as he was developing this game. Shadows of Malice is an underrated dungeon adventure. It's just an underrated game that you have to have. I think if you don't have it, you need to get it. This is another game that is brilliant and it takes up a small imprint, but does so much stuff on it. And, you know, where some people I've heard say, oh, well, you know, I wish the art was a little bit... Stop. Play the game. Understand how the beauty of the game and the depth of the game. Shadows of Malice is a must-have. Go to Devious Weasel Games, deviousweasel.com, excuse me, and check it out. So what are we looking at today? Well, you want to talk about art and phenomenal art. Cosmic Frog World Eaters from Dimension Zero. Okay, listen. I'm going to go down and I'm going to talk a little bit about this, but I cannot cover how deep and how smart and how brilliant this game is. There's no way I can do it justice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain some of the things about it, give you a little flavor of it. I'm going to send you over to my boy Ricky Royal. Okay? He does one turn. I am going to do a live play of this in the middle of January. That's when I've got it scheduled, that we will do a live playthrough of this because I've got a lot of different things going on. He sent me this along with the Mirroring of Mary King, which I'm going to open up and take a look at in a few days. But I have been so excited to get my hands on this because it's so hard to get your hands on it, that this is just something special. Let's go down, take a look, then I'm going to come up on the other side and I'm going to talk about this. And I'm going to talk about this company and why you need to go to deviousweasel.com, and you have to trust me on this. You have to trust me on it. If you don't trust me, trust Ricky Royal. He's brilliant too. Okay? And he knows his stuff. And this is a guy that'll tell you the same thing I'm telling you as well. Let's go down and check this masterpiece out. Now, there is no way I can take and give you a quick overview of this or explain every rule, so I'm not going to, but I needed to show you the quality of this. You know, I said it up top about underrated designers or companies that have made nothing but fantastic games. I'm gonna put this on Jim and Devious Weasel. Their stuff is just fantastic. From Shadows of Malice, which is a extremely underrated game, that if you get a chance, go to Devious Weasel and see if you can get a copy from them. deviousweasel.com. I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed. But this is just another one of these masterpieces. Now, I don't have everything set up, but the entire board here, or the hexagons, would be filled up with these particular tiles, and then there will be these land tiles on top of them. What's going to happen, and I want to show you these beautiful frogs, which will be painted, folks. Okay, they have to be painted. It's a must. They're different color frogs, and you're going to have different different abilities that you're going to be able to pick, because you're going to be able to pick and use the replayability is ridiculous because of all the different types of powers. You can have vampiric frog. You can have a void shadow frog. You know, these cosmic frogs are enormous. Okay, what are they, about 200 feet tall or 2 miles tall? Excuse me, I think it was. Which is just, you know, unbelievable when you think of the concept of this game. The game comes with a quick reference guide, and what you're going to be doing is you're going to be starting out here, and then you're going to be placed on a certain area, and you're going to have a number of frogs that are going to be playing. This oomph here is you're going to be able to spend on certain abilities. There are abilities here that you can use oomph that'll give you certain things that'll help you and do what you need to do. There's a couple of things that you're going to be able to do when you're on the shards, which these are. You're going to be able to attack. You can attack another frog, okay? And by doing that, you don't kill another frog. You push them back a certain amount. So you'll roll that dice against their die, and the difference in between is how far that frog will get pushed back or pushed out. You'll be able to harvest. You can harvest certain things, and they'll go into your gullet, which is your stomach, basically. You're eating lands and so forth and so on. And then you'll be able to slipstream, leap, which you'll be able to leap over certain things, and then also recover while you're on the shards. While you're out in the ether, which is outside of here, so if you ever decide to go outside of here, you can attack, you can raid, you could disgorge. Disgorge, what you're trying to do is get a certain amount of matching lands in a line, so you'll score certain points at the end of the game. Now, you saw me toss a couple dice there in combat, but the only way you're going to be able to do this is using certain types of dice depending on the ability. As you can see, you could use white dice in the ether or on the shards there. Excuse me. On the shards. The game ends if there's never any land on the shards. Okay, or if there are actually these shards are blowed up because there are cosmic events that are going to happen that are going to destroy things. Once you get one of these destroyed shards, they're going to fill this section right here. And if you ever fill this entire section with blowed up shards, well, guess what? The game is going to end immediately, and then you're going to score. Okay, the way turns are determined, and this is where it can get really interesting because you can have a couple turns in a row. You're going to turn over, and if your color of that frog goes, well, guess what? Then he's going to be able to go. If you turn it over again and there is a splinter strike, well, guess what? You're going to turn over one of these cards and a certain area is going to be destroyed, which means that it can actually fill up your shard integrity a lot quicker, folks. There again, after that, if you pulled another gray, he would go again. If you pulled another gray, he would get to go. So there could be disadvantages depending on things. And then finally, you would pull another card in which your other frog would go. You're going to have a certain amount of turn cards in here depending on how many frogs are in the battle. This is a game that is totally smart, that is totally out there, okay? And I didn't even cover half the rules. A lot of these abilities or these ability cards that have these different symbols, these, some of these, like the white, only go up to 5. Okay, so there's a chance you could roll a 0. It's better to have a red that goes all the way up to maybe 7. Okay, or your yellow, which it goes up to 6. Okay, which is just a normal D6. There are so many different things that you can do and that can happen during this through combat, through activating your powers, raiding, being careful not to overfill your gullet where things get destroyed with a cosmic fireball, basically. And then the outer dimensions, being pushed into the outer dimensions and trying to get yourself back to score as many points as you possibly can, battling against each other. The unbelievable, beautiful quality and the figures that are involved here is just through the roof. The best way that I can tell you that this is going to be showcased is I'm going to do a live play of this and show you how great this is and how smart Jim Feld is. People just don't realize how brilliant this game is, how outside the box it is, the tremendous art. I mean, the art on these ability cards is just, it's beyond comic worthy. Okay, it's just some of the most beautiful art that just adds to this cosmic theme that is so out there. It's such an unexpected type of game that I don't think it gets the love that it deserves. You know, people just want to play the same old dungeon crawl. People want to play the same old work replacement game set in, you know, the 1800s. This is different. This is different, and I remember the day that he was out there doing this, and we'll talk more about that up top when we have our closing thoughts. So why don't we head up there? And again, I didn't show you, I didn't even scratch the surface of this, but the best way to do it is with a live playthrough. And I think that's the best way that we can do this game some honor. If you like to see one turn played, go see my boy Ricky Royal. Check out what he did. He does a fantastic job with one turn where he just explains everything. But this game deserves a full playthrough so you get the full feel and beauty of this fantastic game. Okay, I just got these speed paints for Army Painter. I can't wait to paint these frogs up, okay? Because they need to be painted. And I will paint them, Jim, if you ever watch this. I don't know why you would, because it was done so poorly. I'm gonna say something. This is another game that he's done. I have to check out Mirroring of Mary King because I didn't know a lot about that. I'm just being honest. I don't tell you people anything that I don't know. But if it's anything like his other games, I'm telling you right now, this is the smartest guy in the room. Okay? Because if you want a good adventure game, go check out Shadows of Malice and get the expansion for it. Just trust me on it. Just trust me on it. You won't be disappointed. Very old school game. Very, very old school game with a lot of thought and a lot of adventure in it. A lot of adventure. And if you can make it through, write me, call me, email me, because it's that great. This is another notch. Okay? Because, you know something? It's not your work replacement from the 1800s where there's 9,000 of them out there. Okay? It's not your typical dungeon crawl where, hey, let's go slay a dragon. There's 9,000 of them. Okay? It's not your typical SimCity game, 4X game. It is unlike anything out there. You tell me where there's another game where you could play with 2 mile tall cosmic frogs, and I'll eat this hat on top of my head, because there isn't one. And this universe and what has gone through his mind and how this plays and how the ether and the shards and the depth, the beauty, the components. This is a masterpiece. And if you don't have this, hunt this down. Go to deviousweasel.com games. Check out, get it, bring it in, take some time with it. The components are through the roof. The gameplay is unmatched. And every game's different because you use different abilities. Okay? It's never the same. You're a cosmic frog. You are devouring and strategic gluttony. It's brilliant. It's so out there. It's brilliant. And I have to say, I'm completely blown away by this game. If I had got this game This could easily be up there in my top 10 games of the year for me. Next year, when I do my top 50, where does this land? Okay, we know that Shadows of Malice is always in my top 100. Okay, and that's a game that is hard to keep out or the push out of that top 100, because it's just brilliant, because he does things that are just ahead of his time, and this is a game that doesn't follow the same blueprint as so many other games, and is done fantastically. I can't give this any more glowing a review than I just did, and I'm telling you, take the time to learn this, to play this, and you'll walk away going, wow. I mean, that's all you'll be able to say is wow, because it's that damn good. Until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon.